The single biggest story of the day has nothing to do with a team that qualified for the NCAA tournament, has nothing to do with a team that won, and has nothing to do with someone that you would say had a good season this year in college basketball. North Carolina lost 68-59 to Virginia, the number 2 seed in the ACC tournament. RC, is it time to hammer that last nail in the coffin of North Carolina's season? Are they dead?
I don't see how they get in. I don't. I mean, we were advocating. I thought this was a must-win game for them. I thought they took, I thought they had a chance of beating Duke at home. When they lost that game, I didn't see them making a run in the tournament at all. Today was their last shot at doing it, and they didn't take their business. So, the most disappointing team of the season by far. I mean, I think that's the best way to put it.
I don't even think it's close. Yeah, and it's hard to say because they did have so much coming in. Pete Nance transfers in. That generates some excitement. Of almost 7-footer guy who can shoot it. Think he's Brady Manic, but he does some other things. It's a team that never really clicked. I saw a tweet today. I thought it was almost as perfect as you could say it. He said North Carolina went into the locker room at halftime of the national championship game and never came back out. And I was like, well, there's a lot to be said there. I mean, that's a pretty solid tweet. I don't know who it was. I can't tell you. It wasn't CZ Binance, that's for sure. But this is a North Carolina team, guys. They left a lot on the table. And what's frustrating for us, and RC and I in particular, is the ACC is looked at as a good league when Carolina's good. The ACC is looked at as a good league when Duke is good. We understand that. We're not naive to that fact. So the biggest problem is it hurts everybody else by and large because of the way that they showed up this year. So that's where a lot of the frustration comes. We're not naive to the fact that we need Carolina to be good. The league needs Carolina to be good. That's kind of where the irritation comes from, the loving hate, I guess you would say. That's kind of a very nice way to put it, but you get my gist. It was disappointing by all accounts, and the fact that they weren't able to pull it together when we thought they would be able to about midway through conference season, just sad all the way around. Really,
I think we've said enough about how this team is unable to turn it on when they need to be able to turn it on, and you can't really rely on being a team that needs to turn it on when you have to turn it on. RC, where do you? It probably lies with a lot of different people, but for you, is this on Huber? Is this on the coaching staff?
It's always on the head coach. It's just the nature of the business, whether you want, but I don't think that this is as much on him as, let me take that back. It's always on the head coach, no matter what we say. But there's enough experience on this team and enough guys that play together. If this was Duke's roster and it was a bunch of freshmen, then I'm like, all right, hey guys, you got to cut us some slack, get some young guys. That group's been through it. That's an experienced group, a bunch of third-year players, fourth-year guys, fifth-year guys. There's no excuse for them to be that flat this year, inconsistent as they were. I thought they act like they can just turn it on, like, all right, we went on a run a year ago. It's almost like last year hurt them this year because they felt like, all right, we can just turn it on when we want. And obviously that wasn't the case. It starts with Hubert, but I think there's enough experience on that team that they could have been able to coach themselves.
Yeah. So here's my thing. You guys have both been in more locker rooms than I've been in more locker rooms than most of the people listening have been in. I think that it also falls on the players because you have to, when you have a team that is that old, right, you have to have some kind of internal leadership, some kind of somebody in there to just kind of, if Caleb Love is taking dumb shots, grab him by the scruff of the neck and basically say, dude, you gotta stop doing that. You can't do that anymore. If RJ Davis is not getting the ball into Armando Bacot, there has to be a presence. And I made the argument when they made their run last year, it was when Brady Manic came in and took ownership over that team, not just being on the roster, had a level of ownership. So yes, it falls on Hubert, but I don't think you can sit here and say that the players are blameless when they've made the same dumb mistakes over and over and over again.
Okay, so that's fine. I understand that. But the fact that the head coach allowed them to make the same mistakes over and over again and there not be any repercussions. Every year or every game, RC, like when I played and, given I wasn't as gifted as some of the guys in North Carolina has, playing hard is a prerequisite to playing time. And that wasn't the case this year for Carolina. They just didn't play hard. They felt like they could coast. It was almost a bit of a cocky situation when they won yesterday. And Caleb Love's running back down the floor, winking at the like, oh, yeah, we know what we're doing. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And I think there's a lot to be said for, does this team accept an NIT bid? One. Two, if they do, does Hubert play young guys then?
I got a better question.
I'm all for those.
Do you bring the team back?
No. This
That's
needs a
the
clean
difference.
slate.
Everybody has an opportunity outside of Pete Nash to come back. We're gonna learn about. Then I don't think they're gonna air their laundry out, but we're gonna learn more about this team if everybody comes back.
That's a good point.
It's going to tell us everything we need. We can make all the assessments and, outside, as Hubert always tells us, guys, hey, let's block out the outside noise. We're going to learn everything we need to know about this team in the next couple of weeks because we're going to find out who's there and who's not next year because all those guys got the option of coming back.
Yeah,
so let's see what happens.
That's a great point. And to your question, T.O., if I was Hubert Davis, I would accept an NIT invite, and I'm playing Seth Trimble. I'm playing Jalen Washington.
That's exactly what Hansbrough said.
Play all the young dudes, give them a chance.
That's exactly what Tyler Hansbrough said. But here's the thing: you were in the national championship game with your 3 best players back, and you only lost 1 significant contributor. Now you're going to make the Final Four of the NIT, maybe.
I play the same roster. It's almost like a run when guys go out there, and you know how like guys play at the end of the game, they don't want to be out there.
Yeah,
I'd leave them out there.
Yeah,
same guys that played in the NIT go play in the NIT.
Yep.